Good morning, team. We are back with another episode of Cajun Tiger Plays. We are working our way through Dyson Sphere Program with a Let's Play series, and I'm Cajun Tiger. I'm your host for this game. We are working our way slowly but surely to be able to make purple science, which is the next technology science that we need to unlock and research. We have made a full array to get us a lot of processors, and we will be doing the broadband that we need soon, but we have a few things that we need to clean up over here. All right, first of all, we are getting a full belt right now of iron, but when we're making a bunch of gears, and that's because our gears have backed up, we are having trouble with our electromagnetic coils, which we're going to fix in a minute. When our gears are all being made, we get gaps in our iron. But this smelter isn't always being empty. So, in order to fix that, we'll put a break right there and we'll feed directly into the iron line from this smelter. That will be a partial fix. When you side load from a belt, and that means your belt is connected to the side of another belt, it fills from the main line first. So these iron ingots will come through and process first. If there is a gap in the iron ingots, then it will fill that gap in from here. And we're going to take advantage of that again somewhere. Here you can see part of the problem is we're not getting very many magnets to this guy at all. So we need to be making more magnets. But we don't really have anywhere to make more magnets, except in our last episode, we literally made an array from our blueprints that makes circuit boards. So we can get rid of all of this that's making circuit boards over here, and we can just pull them in from our array, which is perfectly fine thing for us to do. So let's drop us a planetary logistics station here, and we will ask for or demand our circuit boards. We're also going to put iron here because we may need iron from here, and we don't need a full 5,000. We can get by with just 500. We probably don't even need 500 of those, but we'll put it at 500 for now just to be safe. Put our drones in, fill up our values there, and as our drones block our view, we'll come here and we'll take an output of circuits there, and we'll take an output here, and again, side load. Oops, I did not pick. Oh, that's fine. That's good. I can actually show you. You can come here. We talked about this before, and it wouldn't let me do it because I didn't actually have anything picked inside the planetary logistics station. But if you get your angle just right and you look in and you scroll over one of the input areas that you have a belt on, it will let you do there, and I can pick iron ingots for that belt, and that will bring the iron ingots out. Now, again, we're side loading, so it's not going to use that belt unless we actually need it and have gaps, but that will help our iron. And now the only thing we have left is the electromagnetic coils. So we're going to work on that one next. Let's put a break right here and get rid of all of those belts. And we're going to get rid of all of these belts here so that we can add another assembler here, making electromagnetic coils. And then we'll bring our magnets in this way, have an output line here, and we need copper, and we'll need the magnets coming in, and we'll take the belt out from there. Now we can do here, bring that one over all the way, and our belt there, reconnect that one in so we get those magnets, and then we can take this and we can add 3 there, and I think that's gonna be enough because that will give us a full 8. I don't know how, I didn't do the math, and I'm not going to do it on the fly because I don't do well with math on the fly, but I think we'll burn enough of that. It'll give us enough that you can see already we're getting a full belt. Some of that's because it backed up. In here, the buildings were collecting as we were making fixes, but we're getting a full belt there. We're getting nearly a full belt of the output of the circuit boards, all of our machines. Oh, we need to pick a recipe for this one. That will help us get a full belt. There we go. Now we're getting a full belt. We should be getting a full belt now. We see output coming from there. Getting closer to a full belt. Maybe not a completely full belt, but it is a lot closer to a full belt than what we had in the past. So I'm happy with that. We're good there. Now that we've got full belts of everything, though, we want to take advantage of that. So we're going to destroy that poor iron, that poor steel setup that we've done. It has been taken around through the ringer. We kind of used it, deleted it, used it, deleted it. But we have, and I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier, but we have the ability to rebuild right here. So we can put the steel there. That's the wrong way. We can bring our iron ingots in here and our steel out there. Get us a Tesla tower over here to power it, and now we have iron going in to make the things here. Again, the electromagnetic coils is the slow part because he's trying to fill up here first. Plus we're siphoning off some to go over here. It's just going to take a while. So to help things out, since we moved, we're going to build an assembler here. No, I don't want to do that. I want to get an assembler, and I'm going to have to hit the tick mark to get rid of all the stuff. We're going to put an assembler here, and that's not the recipe we want, but that's okay. We're going to build another assembler here. Then we'll take this one, and we'll use this one to make, you guessed it, electric motors. So let's make some electric motors here. We need iron, we need the electromagnetic coils, and we need gears. And then we're going to take our electric motors out, and we're going to feed them into there so that we can make here electromagnetic turbines. Now, again, we're not going to see the full ability of this because we need 2 electric motors every 2 seconds, so that's 1 per second. And over here, we're only making 1 every 2 seconds. So this particular machine is not going to move fast enough. We do have electromagnetic coils, electromagnetic coils here that we can pull around and feed into the system this way. And then we can bring our electromagnetic turbines out there, and that will help. It's not a great help, but it's a little bit of a help, and will help us see the things that we want to see being built over here a little bit more fast, a little bit more quickly. Not incredibly quick, but a little bit more quickly. Oops, I don't want those there. I want them in my inventory. Alright, let's grab these and those and those. Alright, there was one other thing that we wanted to fix today, and that is we're not quite filling up our yellow science production, although we backed up because we didn't do our technology yet, but I'm letting you catch up a little bit on technology. So let's fill up all of those here. Oh wow, we didn't need too many. Let's see if we can put a little bit back there. And what we want to do is we just want to make a little bit more of our diamonds. So we can't build right in the middle, so we're going to get rid of that one, and we'll just build that way. That's going to give us one more smelter making diamonds, which should be enough to get our full system working over there with just a few more diamonds being made. And if it's not, we can always come back and make more diamonds a different way, but this is good enough for now. Alright, with all of that done, we've got plenty of technology cubes being built and backed up. Let's go to our technology menu and decide what we want to do next. Let's go back to upgrades. I don't think there's a whole lot of upgrades that we can do yet. I think a lot of this is going to require purple science to do, or it's going to require mech core level 4, which we can't get to yet. So all of those require additional things that we can't get to yet. We can do another level or 2 of vertical construction, and we'll go ahead and queue those. I don't think I want to do the 3rd level of that just yet. We can't do our logistics carrier. We can't do carrier capacity, and we don't want to start doing vein utilization yet. We can't do research speed until we get. We want to avoid vein utilization just yet. I know there's value to it, but we're going to wait on it. We do want to get fusion power, so we're going to enqueue that. We're going to also start working our way toward the gravity matrix, and I believe it is photon spotlight mining. So we want that advanced miner. So in order to do those, let's look at our gravity matrix first. We need to be able to make gravity waves, which we can't do yet because we aren't making strange matter, which we need to be able to make a miniature particle collider to make that. So we'll enqueue both of those. And then this we want to enqueue because this allows us to make graviton lens, and it allows us to use that graviton lens to make a space warper. That's what's going to get us from one planet to the next. From one system, not planet. One system to the next. It will allow us to move incredibly fast. It's a really cool thing. We want it. We want it bad. Because we are going to have to move out of our system to get more resources. All right, we can't do this yet because again we have more lines leading in than just the strange matter. Quantum chip we need purple for, and that's going to prevent us from getting to our advanced miner. But we can do high strength glass, and we can do cashmere crystals. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but we can research those, and we can also research. Oh, our queues are full, so we can't research that yet. But we'll throw Proliferator 3 in there, and then we'll start hitting some of these other things up here that we skipped over that we didn't do. Again, there are benefits to doing this distribution logistics and using logistics bots, which what everybody calls them, fidget spinners, I think. This machine will cap on top of your depot, and these guys will park inside and can bring you stuff and take stuff to other machines like this on other things. And then this one's the stacker, which allows you to stack things on a belt, which we're not even using max belts yet, so we're not going to worry too much about that. All right, that has given everything a little bit of time to work, and so you can see we are doing things. Maybe not great and huge fast speeds, but we are getting more of our electromagnetic turbines. So it is a little bit better. And most importantly, we have our 2 interstellar logistics stations, which we probably are going to need on the other planet. We got a ton of stuff in here to make more when we're ready. And we are getting plenty of our logistics bots, our logistics vessels, and our logistics drones. They're getting made slowly but surely. So why are we struggling on logistics? Oh, it's because of our circuits. So that's an easy fix. We can come over here and grab 100 circuits, and we can throw them right in there because they keep getting sent down here to make our logistics vessels instead. So we're not getting as many in here, but we can throw that whole 100 in here. Well, we can only throw 40 at a time, but we can throw them in there, and that'll make plenty of drones for us. All right, let's look at power real quick because we had talked about that in our last episode. We're good for power right now. We do need to eventually make some more power, but right now what we want to do is start thinking about what do we need for our other planet. We are going to need more drones than we have because we're down to 164 and we have plenty of things to do on the other planet that are going to need drones. We probably are going to want some sort of power production on the other planet, but we have 49 of those. So we have splitters in our inventory already, a few anyway. We're not going to be using a ton of them on the other planet. We have some depots in our inventory. We are going to want plenty more miners because we want to tap into all the natural resources on the other planet and start using those. We probably don't need a ton of assemblers for the other planet, but we can grab some. And then we're going to want all the smelters we can carry. And we'll grab a bunch of Tesla towers just to be safe, and we'll stack up on a couple more stacks of our sorters. We do want to come up here, and this will help a little bit. We can drop off some of these resources that we're not using anymore. And we have some things that we need to fix on our other planet, which is kind of why going to head there. I'm going to grab one stack of fuel just in case we need it. Let's look. Yeah, see, our yellow science. We're good now with our diamonds that we're creating. So we're good with yellow science. Come over here and check out our foundations. We have 5,001 out of 5,000. Good for us. So we'll go there, and you can see that they're already dumped out of there. So our network's working though, because we're getting a bunch built, even though our 5,000 was already done. So that's good. That will help. We can build foundations on the other world as well, and that'll be a good thing that we can do on the other planet to use some of the resources there, and that'll give us the ability to put foundations in the interstellar logistics network. We're almost out of copper here. It's getting so low. So we did tap into our other copper. I think that that's just about everything. I was rambling on a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and do our shout out, because I was hoping to give this process a little bit more time to make some more drones, because we are going to need drones. And like I said, we don't have a whole lot right now. So our shout out today is similar to last time. It's a little bit weird. I'm doing a shout out. We talked about taxonomy of gaming. I'm a spade diamond. What are you? Let me know in the comments. Tell me all about it. I'm curious what your type of gaming is, your taxonomy is, your gamer type. And then last time we talked about gaming as an escape. People, the world sucks. Pardon my French. It's not a polite word to use sometimes, but it's just rough right now. Everybody is frustrated about something. Things are not the way we all want them to be. No matter where you fall in the U.S. politically, in another country, doesn't matter. People don't like what's going on. People are frustrated and with something. And sometimes you just need to get away. And so play a game. Get away from it all. Turn it off. Turn off the world. Enjoy your life outside of gaming, and enjoy your life. Enjoy your life outside of stress by playing a game. Enjoy the game. But today's shout out, a little different. I wanted to shout out gaming as an educational experience. I am a huge proponent of gaming as an educational experience. If you don't realize that you are learning things, not just because of me, just by playing a game, you learn how to share. You learn how to take turns. I play games with my grandkids for that very reason. I bought them games specifically designed for their age so that we can play games so that they can learn to take turns, learn to play with one another, learn to count, learn colors, learn all kinds of different things that we learn from gaming. So lots of things we can learn from gaming. You get to advanced gaming, games like Dyson Sphere, like Factorio. Factorio is a great example for me. It's one of the first factory simulation assembly games that I've played. And the idea is you have a goal, whether it's building a Dyson Sphere in Satisfactory, you're building the what is that thing called? A space elevator, so that you can send all the materials up so that they can build the satellite up in space. In Factorio, you're building a rocket to get off the planet, and even beyond that, the new version. There's just so much going on, and in gaming, we we learn how to take everything that's going on and break it down into its component parts. So I need to do game. I need to do a rocket in Factorio. Well, how do I do a rocket? Well, I have to do a bunch of research. I have to do research for this, that, and the other to figure out how to make a rocket, how to make science cubes in Dyson Sphere so that I can eventually make a Dyson Sphere. It helps you learn a lot of different things. Problem solving, uh, gaming for education is a huge benefit. I work in software development, and we've actually talked about the fact that um, it should be almost a requirement to play some of these factory games because of the way they teach you to break the big problem down into smaller problems. I mean, look at us. We're wanting to make purple cubes, so we break that down into how do we make processors and how do we make particle broadband? Well, we make processors by doing our circuit boards and our microcrystalline. We do those by doing our iron and our copper and our high purity silicon. We do broadband by doing our nanotubes, and we do the crystals, and we do the plastic, and so it's just a matter of figuring out how to break things down into small, big tasks into smaller tasks, and that's critical in a lot of ways. Critical thinking, critical thought processes that are created. So gaming is education. As you can tell, I've blabbered on about it enough. That's something that I'm very, very fond of and very much a proponent of. So hopefully you agree. If not, you can let me know. That's fine. I'm okay with people disagreeing with me. Oh, we are on the opposite side. Oh no, there's Pyxidis II over there. I thought he was on the opposite side of the system. I was going to get worried for a minute. It's not a big deal, but I do prefer traveling when we can get there without having to go all the way to the other side of the system. It's just a little bit quicker to get there. So we're going to head over and see how things work out once we get there. We will probably not do our high-speed montage during this game, but we will need to do that eventually so we can get our resources tapped. If you look down, you can see our cruise speed is quite a bit higher. We've upgraded our mech, and we have better cruise speed than we did in the past, so we're traveling quite a bit faster. And I almost ruined it. We almost messed up there. We didn't. I got it. So that was close. All right, let's find our daylight and find our builds and see what we can do to improve things on this planet. Apparently, I went the wrong way. We were going through endless night. Okay, there we go. There's sunrise. And here's our build area that we built before. All right, remember we built these small little builds so that we can make our solar panels. We have a small build for doing silicon, high purity silicon here. We've got tons of silicon going in, not a lot coming out. We do have one belt, but just not as much as we could. And then we have plenty of iron. We have titanium over here. We have silicon vein. So what I want to do is, let's look at our planetary view. Oops, that's power. That's not the planetary view. Look at our planetary view, and we're going to start on the southern hemisphere. And the main reason we're going to do that is just because there's a lot of resources we can tap on the northern hemisphere. So what we want to do, we are at our equator and at our prime meridian. So we're going to take a full line, maybe not all the way to the pole, but we're going to take it all the way to the fault line and let our drones build that. And we're going to build our 2-to-1 smelting recipe here. Rotate it around, put everything where it belongs on the third of the fifth meridians there. We'll build one, and then we're going to come here, and I need to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's our middle line, and we build right there, and we'll build one more up here again on the third, fifth meridian. And we'll build there. And now we can use these both for titanium and for silicon. We need silicon. We're going to need lots of silicon. So we want to use these for silicon first. So we'll grab right here, grab our silicon recipe, and copy and paste it over across here and there. And we're not going to use our advanced belts, I don't think, on these. We might have to. We may not have brought enough of the Mark I belts to fill everything out. So we may have to upgrade. Actually, let's go ahead and upgrade the belts. We don't have to add all the way up to 12 smelters. We can, and I'm going to, but you don't have to. Just because you can use the advanced belt to do up to 12 doesn't mean you need to do that, but we're going to go ahead and do it because, like I said, we do need a good bit of silicon coming into our network. So we're going to do that here, one more there, and there. All right, and that should give us plenty of silicon from this build. And we do not have, you probably are already noting and reminding me, screaming at the YouTube. letting me know we do not have silicon in our logistics network on this planet. And you're right, we're going to get that in just a minute. But I wanted to let our drones at least kind of get started over here without us. And then we'll put, oh, that's not what we wanted there. Clear those settings. Silicon in and high purity silicon out. Set our demand, and we'll get 20 drones for this station. And again, we don't have any silicon coming in, so we can't really do anything with it. All right, let's come up to this one, and we're going to skip over this one. Our drones are almost done building it. We're going to skip over it. We're going to upgrade our belts on this facility up here, and we're going to use this one up here to make titanium. We're going to do the same thing we did before, where we're going to take 12 out, and we'll go ahead and extend all the way out and use our advanced belts. Our Mark II belts, I guess I should say. They are advanced from the Mark I, but they are not as advanced as we can get. So the final version of the belts, we'll talk about this for a little bit. The final version of the belts do 120 per second. The belt itself does 30, and then when you start using the stacking system, it will stack up to 4 high on each belt. And so you can end up getting a total of 120 per second. Now, the problem with that is stackers end up using, and I don't know if this has been fixed or corrected or anything in the game, but most of the research that I've seen, stackers end up doing quite a bit of damage, not damage, but they eat up quite a bit of your CPU of your computer. So unless you have a high-end system, it could cause you constraints with your actual ability to run the game. So that's why I don't tend to use a whole lot of stackers. I don't also, a lot of people build these and make mega bases. I would love to do that. I just, somehow I run out of patience at some point. And I do have some Factorio bases that have gotten pretty big, but it gets burnt out. There's too many other games that I want to play. So I don't always have the patience to stick with the game long enough to do a factory build. And I really enjoy, for not just this game, but for most games, I really enjoy the beginning parts of the game. So being able to start over and do it again from the beginning is fun. So that's why I do that. All right, so let's tap into our silicon here, and that will get it into our network, and we'll be able to see that starting to flow in our smelting array that we did over across the equator. This is going to be tricky here. There we go. There's 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we need one more. So let's wiggle him all the way around. See if we can't sneak him in here somewhere. There we go. 7. All right. Do a planetary logistics station. I'm going to do it over here because we'll probably tap into that iron as well and pull it into the planetary logistics station. Again, we don't have a ton of Mark I belts, so we can use our Mark II belts for this, and that's what we're going to do. We can use the Mark II belts. We only have 6 here. We could easily use Mark II belts to actually generate 12 per second and use 4 miners, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to pretend the Mark II belts are Mark I belts, and we get 6 per second. It's a half belt, but it's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Too much turn. Okay, well, fine. If you don't like the way we're doing it, we'll do it a different way. Bring that in there. We don't have a ton of resources. We do have more silicon over there, but we're not going to tap into that. We do have our titanium up here, which we might start pulling there, and then there's iron over there. So if we do that, let's see, how would we want that to work? Turn our rotation back here. Yeah, let's rearrange this a little bit. We'll pull these into here. Pull the silicon into this side. That way, if we do decide to tap into the the titanium up there, we can use this northern entrance to put the titanium. So let me scroll in a little bit because I'm having trouble clicking today for whatever reason. All right, there we go. All right, so bring our silicon down this way and bring the silicon down this way. All right, now with all of that done, we need a few Tesla towers and we should be good to go. Put our Tesla tower here, and you are friendly neighborhood silicon ore provider. So we'll do 20 of our drones here. Increase our numbers there, and we're going to see that we have power issues very, very soon on this planet because we don't have any power generation other than our wind power and our solar generation. And if we go to our planetary menu, wind energy is at 40%, so we're not getting a whole lot of wind energy. We can and probably will put more solar panels down to get more energy, but for now we are missing. How did we miss the filters? I don't sometimes. So this has happened to me before, and I'm not quite sure. So if you know, please let me know in the comments. I dropped these. These are the exact same blueprints that we've dropped down on the other planets, and when I fill things in the planetary logistics network, they've automatically filled in with the other planets. But these didn't want to fill in. So this one did. This one got our titanium. So titanium will come out when we add titanium to the network. So I don't quite know why that happens, all the time. But now we are building our high purity silicon, which is going to make its way all the way up here to the north to our interplanetary logistics network station to be handled there. Now, before we finish, we are going to end up changing how this works. But when I was here before, we did not do this properly because we never got an input line on this side of the array. So our build process kind of came to a screeching halt, and it was short, but we also came to a screeching halt because of these graphene that we're creating. We're using more hydrogen than we are graphene, so this will keep going until the graphene fills up inside the chemical plants, but those have not been working this whole time, so that's kind of a problem. We want them to work. So coming up next episode, we will do some other things, including using our graphene and our titanium to make the carbon nanotubes. We'll head back to our other planet because we need carbon nanotubes. But we need a lot of silicon and we need a good bit of titanium to be able to make these, because we need the titanium for the carbon nanotubes and we need the silicon for the crystal silicon. Then we know how to make plastic. We've got energetic graphene, energetic graphite on our other planet, and we've got the oil, so we can make plastic that way. So that's fairly easy to do. All right, that's next time, and hopefully we'll be making purple science before too much longer. Until then, remember, players, I fly the ship. Keep building, team.